Hello everyone. Today, I have a truly inspiring story for you. This isn't just for listening practice. It's a story about determination, perseverance, and how hard work can change lives. The story is called Nothing Comes for Free. It follows a young man named Leo, whose journey from humble beginnings to success will motivate anyone who dreams big. Leo was 20 years old and lived in a quiet, small town surrounded by mountains. Life in the town was simple, but opportunities were limited. Leo had big dreams. He wanted to own his own chain of bakeries and become a successful entrepreneur. But his family was struggling financially. His father, Mark, worked as a mechanic, repairing vehicles just to make ends meet, while his mother, Claire, cleaned houses to support the family. Leo's little sister, Sophie, was only 10, and she idolized him, always looking up to him as her hero. One chilly evening, Leo sat outside their small home, staring at the stars. He whispered to himself, "I want to give my family a better life, but where do I even start? We barely have enough to survive each day." The next morning, he shared his dreams with his father. Mark listened quietly, then said something that would stay with Leo forever. "Dreams aren't free, son. If you want something in life, you have to work for it. Start with whatever you have, no matter how small." Leo took his father's words to heart. Walking through the town, he noticed that people loved fresh bread. Yet the nearest bakery was miles away. An idea sparked in his mind. Why not sell fresh bread locally? But there was a problem. Leo didn't have any money to buy the bread up front. Undeterred, he decided to approach the bakery owner, Mr. Anderson, a strict and cautious man known for rarely trusting anyone. After walking several miles to the bakery, Leo took a deep breath and spoke. "Mr. Anderson, I want to sell your bread in my town. I don't have money right now, but if you trust me, I'll return the payment after 1 week and keep a small profit for myself." Mr. Anderson raised a skeptical eyebrow. "Why should I trust you?" "Because I am determined," Leo said firmly. "I will prove myself through hard work." After a long pause, the old man finally agreed. 1 week. If you fail, don't come back." Leo's heart soared with hope. The very next morning, he carried the bread back to his town and set up a small stand, greeting everyone with energy and a smile. At first, people hesitated, but Leo offered free samples, and soon his first customer bought bread. By the end of the day, all the bread was sold. That evening, Leo returned the money to Mr. Anderson, who nodded approvingly. "You kept your word. Come back tomorrow." From this day, Leo's journey had begun. But little did he know, this was only the beginning of the challenges that would test his dreams. Will Leo succeed in growing his small bread stand into a real business? Stay tuned to find out how he takes the first big step toward his dream. The next morning, Leo woke up before sunrise, full of energy and determination. He carried the fresh bread from Mr. Anderson's bakery back to his town, setting up his small stand near the park. Each passerby was greeted with a warm smile and a cheerful, "Fresh bread. Warm and delicious." At first, people were hesitant. They had never bought bread from a stranger before. But Leo had a plan. He offered free samples, letting everyone taste the bread. Slowly, curiosity turned into trust, and by the end of the day, all the bread was sold. Not only did Leo make enough money to repay Mr. Anderson, but he also earned a small profit for himself. The sense of achievement made him feel unstoppable. For the following weeks, Leo worked tirelessly. He woke up every morning at 4 a.m., walked miles to pick up the bread, and spent hours selling it. The town began noticing his dedication, and his customers gradually increased. With the profit he saved, he eventually bought a small cart, which made transporting the bread easier and allowed him to reach more people. One day, a customer gave him a piece of advice that changed everything. "Leo, you're great at selling, but why not bake your own bread? You could earn more and create something unique for the town." Leo's heart raced at the idea. Baking would mean he wouldn't have to rely on Mr. Anderson, and the profit could grow significantly, but he had never baked anything in his life. The thought was exciting yet terrifying. After some thought, Leo decided to ask Mr. Anderson for guidance. The next morning, he returned to the bakery and said, "Sir, I want to learn how to bake. Can you teach me? Mr. Anderson frowned. Why would I teach you? If you bake, you won't buy from me anymore. Leo looked him in the eye. I'll never forget that you gave me my first chance. If I succeed, I'll make sure your bakery benefits too. The old man studied him for a moment, then nodded. All right, but know this. Baking is not easy. It requires patience, precision, and hard work. Are you ready for that? Leo nodded without hesitation. From that day on, his lessons began early 3 a.m. each morning before the sun rose. Mr. Anderson taught him how to mix flour, knead the dough, and bake bread perfectly. At first, Leo struggled. His hands ached, and many loaves were ruined. Some were too hard, some too soft. One evening, feeling defeated, he thought about giving up. But then he remembered his father's words. Dreams are not free. Every failure became a lesson, every mistake a step forward. Leo returned the next morning, determined to improve. Slowly, the loaves began to come out better, and after 2 weeks, Mr. Anderson handed him a perfect loaf. You're ready, he said. Leo couldn't believe it. He had taken the first major step toward his dream. Leo has learned to bake, but will he be able to grow his small bread stand into a real bakery and compete with new challenges ahead? The next part reveals the real test of his determination. With his new skills, Leo finally began baking his own bread at home. Every morning before sunrise, he kneaded dough, mixed ingredients, and carefully baked loaf after loaf. His family was amazed at his dedication. Sophie, now a little older, helped pack the bread, while his mother, Claire, made tea and encouraged him as he worked late into the night. Leo's small home had transformed into a workshop of dreams. Soon, Leo didn't just sell bread, he experimented with cookies, pastries, and even simple cakes. The town loved his creations, often saying, Leo's bread tastes better than anything we've ever had. His small stand became a hub of excitement, as neighbors eagerly waited for the fresh goods each day. His hard work was beginning to pay off, but success doesn't come without challenges. One morning, a new bakery opened in town, run by a young entrepreneur named Eric. The shop was bright, colorful, and full of fancy decorations. Curiosity drew many townspeople to Eric's bakery, and slowly, Leo noticed his sales dropping. Fear crept in. What if everything he had built was lost? Instead of giving up, Leo decided to act. He asked his customers for feedback. What do you like about Eric's bakery? How can I improve? Some said Eric's shop looked prettier. Others said the cakes were beautifully decorated. Leo realized he needed to grow not just as a baker, but as a business owner. He invested his savings into improving his stand. He painted his cart bright colors, added cheerful decorations, and offered free samples of new pastries. Determined to learn, he watched videos at the library on cake decoration and experimented with new recipes at home. Slowly, his customers began returning. People appreciated his effort, dedication, and the personal touch he brought to every interaction. One evening, an elderly woman approached Leo and said, I've seen many young people give up when things get hard, but you didn't. That's why we trust you. Those words filled Leo with pride and reinforced his belief that persistence was the key to success. Months passed, and Leo saved enough money to rent a small shop. It wasn't as grand as Eric's, but it was warm, inviting, and filled with the aroma of fresh bread and pastries. He named it Leo's Fresh Bakes. Each morning, he rose before sunrise, baked fresh bread, and opened his shop with a smile. His parents and sister helped. Sophie chatted with customers. Claire managed the accounts. But Leo knew that this was just the beginning. Success wasn't guaranteed, and challenges would continue to come. Leo had started his bakery and regained his customers, but life wasn't done testing him. What unexpected challenge will threaten everything he's worked for? Part 4 reveals the real test of courage and resilience that will define his journey. Leo's bakery, Leo's Fresh Bakes, was becoming the heart of the town. People loved his fresh bread, cakes, and pastries, and his hard work had earned him respect and trust. Life was busy but fulfilling. Every loaf he baked, every pastry he decorated, was a step toward his dream. But one stormy night, as Leo was closing his shop, he noticed smoke curling from the bakery. Panic surged through him. Rushing inside, he saw a small fire had started near the oven. Thinking quickly, he grabbed water and managed to stop the flames, but much of his baking equipment was damaged. The bakery was safe, but the tools he needed to bake efficiently were ruined. The next morning, townspeople heard about the fire. Some shook their heads, wondering if Leo could recover. Others whispered doubts, thinking this might be the end for his bakery. Leo felt heartbroken, yet he refused to give up. Standing outside his shop, he took a deep breath and said to himself, "This is just another challenge. I faced obstacles before, and I'll face this too. I won't give up." He calculated his savings and realized it wasn't enough to replace everything. For a moment, fear threatened to overwhelm him. But then he remembered the journey that had brought him here. Starting with nothing, walking miles to earn trust, learning to bake from scratch, and growing his business step by step. Leo knew he couldn't sit and wait for a miracle. He had to act. He reached out to Mr. Anderson, his mentor, who had long retired. "Sir, what would you do if you were me?" Leo asked. Mr. Anderson smiled warmly. "Leo, you already know the answer. Nothing in life is free. Work harder, believe in yourself, and people will believe in you too." Inspired, Leo began baking again at home with the little equipment he had left. He told his customers, "I won't let you down. Even if I can only bake a small amount, I will keep serving you." His determination inspired the town. Many came forward to help. Some donated ingredients, others gave small amounts of money, and a few volunteered their time to clean and repair the bakery. Months of effort, patience, and support finally paid off. Leo reopened his bakery, better than ever. He painted the walls, added new decorations, and introduced cupcakes, muffins, and other treats. The townspeople were overjoyed to see their beloved bakery thriving again. The grand reopening became a celebration, with the town's mayor praising Leo for his courage and perseverance. Leo stood in front of the crowd and said, "Nothing in life is free. Not success, respect, or love. Everything must be earned with hard work, patience, and persistence. Every challenge is a step toward something greater." Leo had rebuilt his bakery stronger than before, but his journey was far from over. How will he continue to grow, inspire others, and reach new heights? Part 5 will reveal the final chapter of Leo's incredible story and the ultimate lessons of perseverance and purpose. After the grand reopening, Leo's Fresh Bakes became more than just a bakery. It became a symbol of hope, hard work, and persistence. People from nearby towns began visiting, curious to meet the young man who had started with nothing but a dream and an unstoppable spirit. Leo had not only built a business. He had built a life full of purpose, pride, and inspiration for everyone around him. Every morning, Leo woke up before sunrise, baked fresh bread, pastries, and cakes, and greeted each customer with a smile. Sophie, now growing into a young girl full of energy, loved helping by packing treats and chatting with customers. Claire managed the accounts, while Mark offered support and encouragement. Leo had created not just a business, but a family-driven dream where everyone contributed and thrived together. But Leo never forgot the lessons from his journey. He remembered starting with no money, walking miles to gain trust, learning to bake from scratch, and facing the fire that had nearly destroyed everything. Each challenge had taught him resilience, patience, and the power of persistence. He realized that nothing in life comes without effort. Success, respect, and even love must be earned. Leo also understood that people notice those who work hard and never give up. When he asked for help after the fire, the town responded. Ingredients, time, advice, and support poured in from neighbors, friends, and even strangers. He learned that when you help yourself first and show dedication, people naturally want to support you. Over time, Leo's bakery grew steadily. He introduced new items, improved his recipes, and continued to innovate. But more than the profit, Leo cherished the relationships he had built, the smiles on his customers' faces, and the pride in his family's eyes. He had proven to himself that no dream is impossible when fueled by determination and courage. Looking back, Leo realized three important truths. 1. Dreams require sacrifice and effort. Nothing comes for free, and every goal demands dedication. 2. Failure is not the end. Every obstacle is an opportunity to learn and grow stronger. 3. Persistence attracts support. When people see your effort and sincerity, they will help you succeed. Leo's journey was a testament to the fact that challenges are stepping stones, not roadblocks. From a small stand with borrowed bread to a thriving bakery loved by the whole town, he had shown that hard work, patience, and belief in yourself can turn any dream into reality. And so, Leo's story inspires all of us to chase our dreams relentlessly, face obstacles with courage, and never forget that nothing is free, but everything is possible. Whatever your dream is, big or small, remember, Leo, start where you are, work hard, and never give up. Your efforts today will shape the success and life you'll celebrate tomorrow.